This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Filipina tennis ace Alex Eala braces for a rare hostile crowd as she opens her Linz Open campaign against hometown favorite Julia Grabher in Austria midnight tonight. Exclusive NLEX import Cady Lalanne keeps a low profile amid comparisons to an NBA player, choosing to let his game speak for itself. Farm Fresh reaches its first ever PVL All-Filipino semifinals after a dominant straight-set sweep of Nxled. Filipino boxer Mark Magsayo is on a collision course with unbeaten Andres Cortes after their impressive wins in Las Vegas. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 6th of April. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NSD-IAC. For the first time in a long while, Filipina tennis standout Alex Eala will find herself playing in front of a crowd that's not on her side. Eala opens her Linz Open campaign in Austria against hometown bet Julia Grabher, who is expected to draw strong support from the local fans. In recent tournaments, Eala has enjoyed a surge of Filipino backing in the stands. But this time, she'll have to thrive in a hostile environment. Still, the Alex Eala seems unfazed as she continues her clay season build-up against higher-ranked competition. Win or lose, Eala is already guaranteed over 700,000 pesos in prize money. A win would not only boost Eala's campaign but could set up a potential showdown with Yelena Ostapenko as she begins her build-up toward Roland Garros. Cady Lalanne is making noise without saying much. As comparisons to Kawhi Leonard start to surface, the NLEX import says he'd rather let his game do the talking. Here's the exclusive report from our sports correspondent, Zeus Valdez.
Cady Lalanne is letting his game do the talking, even as comparisons to Kawhi Leonard start to surface. The NLEX import, who recently put up 29 points and 10 rebounds in a dominant performance, downplayed the label, but acknowledged the recognition.
I appreciate it, man, but I just try to let my game speak for itself, put in the work, and put in the work every day in practice. And those guys, they've been, we all in the gym putting some work, so I like it, and just want to keep winning games.
Known for his quiet approach and consistent production, Lalanne has thrown attention for his calm demeanor and efficiency on both ends, traits often associated with Leonard. But for Lalanne, the focus remains on team success. Alongside him, Robert Bolly continues to steer the offense, earning high praise from his import teammate.
Robert's one of those, he's like Luka. You know what I mean? He could get down to the basket, get a layup, make the jump shot, 4 corner, 3 corner, what you want, assist, whatever you want. And Kev played great today. He was knocking shots down, big shots that we needed. The whole team actually played well, man. Shawnee played well. Tony came in the clutch, played well. Everybody played a very good game, man. A very well team game, and we won the game.
With Lalanne's quiet dominance and Bollick's all-around playmaking, NLEX continues to build a formula rooted in efficiency, balance, and consistent execution. Reporting for the Scorecard, I am Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Magnolia turned in a dominant all-around performance to rout Terra Firma in the PBA Commissioner's Cup. The Hotshots rolled to a convincing 85-70 victory, controlling the game from start to finish behind a balanced offensive attack and tight defense. Import Clint Chapman anchored the win, continuing his strong run after putting up 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists, fueling the team's resurgence. With the victory, Magnolia notched back-to-back wins after an 0-3 start, showing signs of finding its rhythm in the conference.
No, actually, we had a slow start offensively, but I think defensively we're on track during the first half, and then we still I still emphasize it really on the second half to play defense, because obviously we can score anytime, diba? The question is, can we get a stop No? Yun yung parating challenge ko sa mga players ko sa team ko. No?
Up next, the Hotshots face Barangay Ginebra on April 10 at the Mall of Asia Arena as they look to keep their momentum going. Veteran big man Kelly Williams is back in action for the TNT Tropang 5G after rejoining the active roster in the Philippine Basketball Association Commissioner's Cup. The 44-year-old suited up for TNT and their matchup against sister team Meralco Bolts, providing veteran presence and front court depth. Williams returns after a brief stint on the unrestricted free agent list, bringing back experience and leadership to the squad. He last saw action during the Philippine Cup Finals where he delivered solid numbers and reliable minutes. With his return, TNT gets a boost inside as it continues its campaign in the conference. The mass resignation says it all. That was the striking statement from outgoing Commissioner Heidi Ong as the Women's Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League is rocked by a major leadership crisis just days before its season opening. Ong stepped down, citing irreconcilable differences, saying her vision for the league had become impossible under the current setup. Moments later, multiple top officials, including the Deputy Commissioner, Legal Counsel, and Technical Head, also resigned, signaling a deeper breakdown within the organization. The league, backed by Manny Pacquiao, is now scrambling to fill the void. Now, despite the turmoil, the WMPBL says it will push through with its April 12 season opener in Muntinlupa. Farm Fresh is heading to the PVL All-Filipino Conference semifinals for the very first time, and they did it in dominant fashion. In a high-stakes knockout clash at the Phil Oil Center, the Foxies delivered a statement sweep over Nxled 25-17, 25-20, 25-19. At the helm, Japanese tactician Koji Chuzurabara once again showed his winning system, guiding his squad with a clear emphasis on hard work and daily improvement. This breakthrough win comes after a setback against PLDT in their first semis bid, making this victory even more meaningful for a team that only joined the league in 2023 and is now one step closer to a finals appearance in the PVL All-Filipino Conference.
Always, I demand to play a best performance. I said advice to player, change their mind. Practice doesn't lie, so important practice.
Meanwhile, Creamline showcased its championship composure, fending off a determined Akari side 25-23, 25-20, 16-25, 25-16 to secure the final semifinals berth in the 2026 PVL All-Filipino Conference. It's another strong showing for Olympic hopeful Eldrew Yulo. The 18-year-old captured his second bronze medal in the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Cup leg in Cairo, finishing third in the horizontal bar finals last Monday with a score of 13.733. It came a day after also bagging bronze in floor exercise, underscoring his steady rise in the senior ranks. His performance further fuels hopes of a historic Olympic pairing with older brother Carlos Yulo for the 2028 Los Angeles Games. Carlos, meanwhile, is also in top form after recently helping his French club reach the top 12 finals after posting strong scores in floor and vault. Meantime, Eldrew now heads to Osijek, Croatia this weekend, eyeing more podium finishes and enough points to earn a stint in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. A potential blockbuster fight could be looming for Filipino boxer Mark Magsayo. Magsayo is now on a collision course with unbeaten American contender Andres Cortes, following their impressive victories at Zuffa Boxing in Las Vegas. Cortes stayed perfect, improving to 25-0 after scoring a unanimous decision win over Eridson Garcia in the main event. Earlier in the card, Magsayo delivered a statement performance by stopping Fergal McRory via 5th-round TKO, marking his 5th straight win and strong start at lightweight. With both fighters aligned in the same outfit, Zuffa boxing and gaining momentum, a Magsayo-Cortes showdown could realistically be set up as a title eliminator or co-main event. Filipino boxer Carl James Martin could be next in line for a shot at the WBO Super Bantamweight crown. The title is expected to be vacated by reigning champion Naoya Inoue should he win his highly anticipated showdown against fellow Japanese star Junto Nakatani. Currently ranked number 2 by the WBO, Martin continues his push as he returns to the ring on May 16 against Cebuano veteran Carlo Demecillo in Taguig. The unbeaten 26-year-old carries a 27-0 record with 20 knockouts and says he is treating the bout as a title eliminator, with hopes of securing a world championship opportunity next. Martin faced national media in today's weekly PSA forum at the Rizal Memorial Center in Manila.
Isa sa minabasa namin kasi pinag-aaralan po namin po weight ranking. Yung pinag-aaralan po namin dalawang Uzbekistan at isang Japanese po na possible siya yung sila yung maging kalaban namin para sa World Championship. Tandaan mo po kami, ready po kami sa mga anong mangyari lumaban sa ibang bansa.
MP Promotions Chief Sean Gibbons says they are already positioning Martin to fight for the soon-to-be vacant WBO title, targeting a matchup with the next available top contender once the belt is relinquished. The Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team is back on top after defeating the Yukon Huskies men's basketball squad 69-63 to capture the NCAA championship. The victory marks Michigan's first title since 1989. Led by head coach Dusty May, the Wolverines completed a dominant 37-3 season, relying on defense and physicality in the finals. Elliot Cadeau led the way with 19 points and was named Most Outstanding Player. The win also denied UConn a third title in 4 years as Michigan reestablishes itself among college basketball's elite. Concern now surrounds NBA star Victor Wembanyama despite a win by the San Antonio Spurs. Wembanyama exited their 115-102 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers after suffering a left rib contusion following a collision in the second quarter. Now, the 22-year-old briefly returned before sitting out the entire second half, finishing with 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks in just 16 minutes. Team officials have yet to release a clear prognosis, raising uncertainty with only a few games left before the playoffs. Despite his absence, the Spurs held on for the win, but all eyes are now on Wembanyama's condition moving forward. Meanwhile, here are the results from around the league. A light-hearted moment off the court went viral as LeBron James and Anthony Davis pulled off a hidden camera prank on Draymond Green. Green was lured into what he thought was a legitimate $100 million business meeting, only for it to turn into a setup for Davis's new show. As the fake investment discussion unfolded, Green grew visibly frustrated before he realized he had been pranked. The moment quickly circulated online with fans reacting to Green's intense response and the Lakers duo behind the scenes laughing. Seeing how the Philippine basketball national team, collectively known as Gilas Pilipinas, is built today with players spread across the PBA and overseas leagues, is the original program-based Gilas model still the best way forward, or does it need to evolve? One of the brains behind Gilas Pilipinas, sports executive Emmanuel Noli Eala will be joining us to discuss the past, the present, and the future of Gilas Pilipinas when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. As Gilas Pilipinas continues to rely on a mix of PBA and overseas-based players, does the original program-based model still hold up? Or should it adapt to the current landscape? Joining us to discuss the current setup and the future of Gilas Pilipinas is former Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas Executive Director Emmanuel Noli Eala. Welcome to the program, Com Noli. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Anton.
And congratulations, by the way, because I heard that you got an eagle on a par 4 recently on the golf course.
Yeah, that was a lucky shot.
Well, just to get the ball rolling, Com Noli, looking back at the formation of Gilas Pilipinas, specifically when you were the executive director of the SBP, what was the biggest challenge in turning the Gilas concept into reality, especially after the country emerged from years of federation instability?
Well, I think the biggest challenge really was getting players to join the national team, given the history of the national team prior to the SPP. I think for us to understand how Gilas was formed, you have to look at the history of the PBA. And as you know, Anton, when I was commissioner of the PBA, I supported wholeheartedly the use of PBA players for the national team. Previous to that, if you will recall, the PBA did not allow players from PBA teams to join unless it was the Asian Games. It was only during my time when we decided to support the national team, even if they were playing in FIBA sanctioned tournaments. So I think that was the history behind that. When I left the PBA and became executive director of the SBP, I knew what was the thought process of the board of governors of the PBA then. And it was very difficult to be lending their players full-time. And that's why we created a new model that was actually not an original idea. It was called from the Iranian team that went to the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And that was putting together a dedicated national team of young players coming from the collegiate ranks. And I think from at the start, it really went well, but it seemed like it was ahead of its time.
Com Noli, what do you think would have happened if that group stayed together? I remember Chris Tew being there, Mac Barakael, and others. What do you think would have happened kung nagtuloy-tuloy yung ganong klaseng programa, Com?
Well, the idea was really that was going to be a revolving team, although we would keep the team together and just keep on building as it is today. But it was a dedicated national team that would have gotten exposure all over the world. And at the same time, we were hoping that we could get some playing time as a competitive team in the PBA. As we know, that was not allowed. Eventually, that team had to evolve. The SBP decided to put in additional PBA players into that original format. But I thought that if we had, given it a little more time, because if you remember, it was by 2010, PBA players were already being placed into the Gilas national team. Asi came there, Don Hontiveros was included, and a few others, from the original group back in 2009, which competed all over the world. So I thought it was not given enough time. I thought that if we continued the program, if we stuck to the idea, I think more collegiate players would have probably joined, and I think it would have been a different kind of formula to solving our problems of manning our national teams in the future.
When you look at how the national team is built today, Com Noli, it's very different from during the time you were handling it. We have some players who are imports abroad coming in to rep flag and country. You have some players in the PBA. Do you think that maybe we should go back to what it was before, getting a dedicated national team amidst all of the problems, like the commitments with the teams in the PBA and, of course, the commitments of the players abroad?
I don't think that is viable anymore at this time, particularly because even FIBA's format for international tournaments and qualifications for the Olympics and the World Cup has changed. We now have windows that we follow. We now have mandated tournaments that we join. And I think, even the collegiate players would have had problems because you cannot get them prior to the UAAP season. I think the current setup is working. I think there are a few tweaks that have to be done. I believe that Tim Cohn handling the national team has really improved our standing. I think there is a need to just change a little bit of the mindset in terms of how players have to play. I think certain players cannot be placed in a mold. We know that nowadays it's already positionless basketball. And if there is a chance for certain players, I guess in their current pool, to play out of their positions and develop into a different kind of player for Gilas, I think we'll have better chances. But in terms of the idea of this being dedicated, this being staying together for a long period of time and just learning to play with each other and learning also the concept of FIBA basketball, I think that concept must remain. And I think they're doing that to a certain degree. But again, just keeping young players in the national team may have been a little bit earlier, too early for its time during my time. But we can see now that even the young players of the UAAP and the NCAA are very, very mature. And I think they're qualified to play in the national team.
And a lot of those guys coming out of college are also thinking about careers abroad. And I want to get your thoughts on that, Com Noli, because basketball has evolved so much. And we have guys like Kai Soto, Dwight Ramos, Thirdy Ravenna was the first one to go out there to Japan. Kiefer Ravenna is still there, Ray Parks. Do you think that this is good for Philippine basketball? What are your thoughts on this na yung mga players natin right out of college dumediretso na sa Japan or kung saan man ba, Korea or whatever?
Absolutely. I don't see any problems with that. I think, in fact, Philippine basketball should support these players. I don't think there should be any restrictions or conditions attached to their playing abroad. I think basketball has evolved worldwide. It has become a smaller basketball community. Now we see many players changing nationalities. We see countries playing with and against each other. EASL was formed precisely for reasons like this, just to develop basketball. FIBA is supporting this. I think the PBA has to evolve in that sense. I think Philippine basketball has to continue to support, the dreams of our young players. And I think it's good ultimately for the national team, for Gilas, because as we can already see now, these players are getting exposed to a different kind of competition. I'm not saying better competition than the PBA, but this is a different kind of competition. And once they get used to that, I think players will come to the national team more prepared, more matured, and more exposed to the international game. And it will really help the national team, provided that they can learn to play with each other for a longer period of time. And I think that's key. Just putting this team together and just having faith, keeping them together for a while, and really using this as a catapult towards something that is bigger. Anton, we can already see the evolution of Gilas And now we are no longer a small team. I remember a time when we went to Serbia, and when the Serbians saw our national team, they said, "Are you sure you're a basketball team?" Because we were quite small. But now no one says that about the Philippine team, and I think it's good that we are exposing our big players to more competition outside of the Philippines.
Yeah, we're so glad to have guys like Kai Soto and AJ Edu. For my last question, Com Noli, we've had several naturalized players. We started with Marcus Douthit, Andre Blatch, up to now, Justin Brownlee, and then, eto na, Benny Boatwright. Your thoughts on Benny Boatwright coming in, getting that naturalization? The process is ongoing right now, and the future for Gilas Pilipinas.
I support it completely. It was part of the original program of Gilas to get a naturalized player, as you know. That's why Marcus Douthit came in during our time. But Benny Boatwright it's a terrific talent. We've seen him deliver championships. We've seen him play in the PBA, and now he's playing abroad, and we can see the way he can fit into the system. I just hope that we can get him as soon as possible in good and healthy condition. Of course, Justin Brownlee remains the benchmark for many naturalized players, but he's getting of age, and as much as we don't want to see him get old, I think Father Time is undefeated, and I think it may be time to start making that transition. And I fully support it. I hope Benny Boatwright can come in quickly and help our young guys qualify for the World Cup and the Olympics.
And that is the wish of the entire nation as well, rooting for the Philippine men's basketball team. Com Noli, maraming salamat po sa oras, and thank you so much for sharing your time with us here on the show.
Maraming salamat, Anton.
Former PBA Commissioner Com Noli Eala here on the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. And all eyes are on the Linz Open as Filipina tennis sensation Alex Eala begins her campaign, and she opens against a seasoned opponent in Austria's Julia Grabher in the round of 32. It's their first ever meeting on the WTA Tour, a clash between youth and experience with a spot in the next round on the line. So let's start with Julia Grabher. The 29-year-old Austrian is currently ranked world number 87 with a career high of number 54 reached in 2023. She's a familiar face in Linz, making her main draw debut here in 2019 and has spent years grinding on the professional circuit. Now, Grabher has yet to capture a major title, but she brings experience and physicality, having competed on some of the sport's biggest stages, including the Olympics. However, form could be a concern because she is coming off early exits in recent clay tournaments in Turkey and will need to find her rhythm quickly. Now, to Alex Eala and why this surface could favor the Filipina. Ranked world number 46 and coming off a career high of number 29, Eala enters her clay season with momentum and high expectations. Former world number 4 Greg Rusedski believes clay makes Eala even tougher to beat, saying it is harder for opponents to hit through her game. That's because Eala thrives in long rallies using heavy topspin, court coverage, and discipline to wear down her opponents. Her years of training at the Rafa Nadal Academy have also given her a strong foundation on clay, a surface where patience and point construction are key. Simply put, on clay, Alex has more time, more control, and more ways to win points. For Eala, the formula to advance is clear. First, she's got to extend the rallies. That plays directly into her strengths and tests Grabher's consistency. Second, move Grabher around the court, force her into defensive positions, and capitalize on the short balls. And third, she's got to serve better. It remains a key area for improvement, and holding serve will be crucial against a veteran opponent. And finally, start strong and stay composed, because waiting in the next round is fourth seed Yelena Ostapenko, a much tougher test if Eala advances. This is more than just an opening match. It's a chance for Alex Eala to make a statement in her clay court season. Youth, skill, and momentum up against experience and grit. This is Alex Eala versus Julia Grabher. Who takes the next step in Linz? We're going to find out. Here's what you need to know for the thrilling tennis matchup happening later tonight. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.